Hello, this is Mrs. White, and I will teach you about what the theory of natural selection means. Now, before we start, let's talk about common ancestor first. Now, most scientists believe that all living things evolve from an ancient common ancestor. And when you say common ancestor, it is an organism from which different species of organisms evolved. And it is believed that an ancient common ancestor evolved over and over to give rise to all the species on Earth that we know of today. Now, most scientists believe that the common ancestor was an organism that resembled a bacteria or Archaebacteria. So here's an example of an Archaebacteria, which is called a halobacteria. And it is believed that this was the first organism to ever exist on Earth. And for this reason, the ancient common ancestor represents the origin of life on Earth. Now, the idea of evolution has been around for thousands of years, and it's not until the 1800s until evolution became widely accepted. And Charles Darwin, who was a British scientist, was the one who actually started this idea of the theory of evolution. And he believed that organisms evolved by a process called natural selection. Now, Darwin developed the idea of natural selection after taking a trip around the world in 1831 on the HMS Beagle. And during his voyage, Darwin collected some bones of extinct animals as well as living specimens. And one interesting thing that he found out and observed is these species right here. These different species living close together. And these species had different characteristics and feeding habits. And therefore, when he observed these organisms, he observed that these species, although they belong to the same group, they actually have this variation. And they prefer to live at a region where they can actually get the food that they need based on their feeding apparatus or their beaks, for example. So here's a picture of the finches, and he observed these birds living in the Galapagos. It is located off of the southwestern coast of South America. And because of this observation, he developed the theory of natural selection. So what does that mean? Now, Darwin theorized that species that live in an area have characteristics that make them well suited for their habitat, and that individuals within a species that are better suited for their environment are more likely to survive, and they reproduce there and pass their characteristics on to their offspring. And those with inferior characteristics are outcompeted by those with better traits. And he called this theory of natural selection as the survival of the fittest. So this is what we're going to be learning a little bit more next week. I hope this helps in understanding what natural selection means, and I'll see you in class. Bye.